Hello, and welcome to the George Izay Park Master Plan. This video represents the second virtual presentation of our community outreach process. My name is Zachary Meading, and I'll be guiding you through some of the information we've collected to date tonight, as well as other information on a future survey coming up. In this video presentation, I'll cover the purpose, process, anticipated project timeline, and most importantly, how to get involved. The purpose of the project is to develop a master plan for the George Izay Park. This plan will serve as a guide for future park improvements. The recommendations will be based on local community needs and input that you provide throughout this process. The project will be divided into 6 key segments: assessing the existing site conditions, reviewing local community demographics, an extensive community outreach process, conceptual master planning, cost analysis, and then ultimately report and recommendations. Over a period of 9 months, we will be collecting information and reaching out to the community, as well as sharing feedback and ultimately preparing the final master plan of improvements. In order to make sure we reach out to as much of the community as possible, we will be deploying various outreach methods to collect information along the way. Methods such as a dedicated project website, a statistically valid multimodal survey, online surveys, and even in-person design charrettes will be conducted in order to develop the George Izay Master Plan. On the website, you will be able to check out the latest project updates. You'll also be able to look up park information, take a 360-degree tour of the site, as well as provide direct feedback on the project website. That's a key component to our process, is the project website has a feedback button that will be live throughout the entire project. At any point in time, you can click on that button and share your feedback directly with the design team. As part of our outreach efforts, we conducted a multimodal survey of the community. This survey included up to 400 participants and was conducted in multiple languages. What we found were that almost 60% of the participants rated the overall quality of the George Izay Park as excellent to good. More than half of those participants engaged in passive recreation at the George Izay Park. 30% of the participants specifically stated they recreate by walking or dog walking at the George Izay Park. This is good information as we begin to evaluate what the current activities of park users are and how we can support that in the future. In addition to the multimodal survey, we conducted a virtual presentation followed by online survey number 1. We saw an excellent return on surveys, having collected 840 completed surveys, as well as seeing a very good geographic distribution of community members all across the city of Burbank. On average, participants had lived in the city for 18 years. And I'll share some of the information we collected throughout the survey now. As part of online survey 1, we asked people, how do you recreate at George Izay Park? And what we heard overwhelmingly, as the majority of the participants identify that they recreate by going to the playground, walking, similar to the multimodal survey, playing softball, baseball, picnicking, as well as playing tennis. Several other events were recorded as well throughout the survey. These are just some of the top few. We also asked the question of, what do you like most about the George Izay Park? And what we heard from the community members in this survey were the location. Many of the participants love the location of the park. Also, the old playground. We heard several mentions of the old playground, as well as playground comments in general throughout this process. Additionally, we heard open space, many activities, as well as shade being some of the top responses for this question. We also asked the community, what do you dislike the most about the George Izay Park? And we found some similar answers here as well, is the new playground. There is some concern over the new playground with the community. There are items such as nothing, that they didn't dislike anything with the George Izay Park. There were comments as well as lack of a 5 to 12 play equipment. Again, more playground comments. The downgraded equipment, referring to the playground as well as outdated components within the park, being some of the top items that the community disliked the most. As we continue our outreach efforts, we're going to take the information we learned from the multimodal survey and online survey 1 and ask some follow-up questions now in the upcoming survey 2. We understand that there's a lot of passion around the playground, as well as a lot of dislikes regarding some of the equipment that's in there. So we're going to ask the question specifically now of the community, what piece of equipment would you like to see? What specific element or age range would you like to see at George Izay Park? We'll also be asking about the pedestrian circulation and how we can increase some of those promenade elements, possibly creating pedestrian plaza areas where you can have multiple programming opportunities and still enjoy that ability to walk and enjoy the park in a passive recreation manner that we're hearing so much on the multimodal survey as well as the online surveys. As part of the master plan process, we conducted an architectural review of the facilities on site. Combining that information with the multimodal survey and the responses from online survey 1, we'll be asking questions here in online survey 2 of what kind of renovations would best serve each of the facilities, what extent to the renovations would help possibly create a better facility for the community or better interaction with a new pedestrian promenade or plaza connecting the core of the park to support some of these recreation features that the community loves in terms of the passive, open walking nature of the park. The final question we'll be asking on online survey 2 is, what are your top improvements you'd like to see? After hearing some of the responses that we collected in online survey 1, as well as the information collected in the multimodal survey, what do you think are the top improvements that should be included in the George Izay Park Master Plan? After the online outreach opportunities, as well as the multimodal surveys, the city will host a live, in-person design charrette where we'll present all of the information we've heard and collected, and then we'll actually start putting pen to paper and begin to design the site with you, the community. I encourage everyone to take the online survey and visit the project website to learn how you can become more involved in this process. If you are watching this video to catch up on the project or are outside the survey window, you can still provide valuable input. On the project website, there's a feedback button. You can use that feedback button to share your thoughts and ideas directly with the design team at any point in time during this process. Thank you for taking part in the outreach process. I look forward to seeing your thoughts and ideas as they come to fruition in the ultimate vision, which will be the George Izay Park Master Plan.